right now, so we'll be live in just a moment. Hold on 1 second for me. Go ahead, Rick. All right, we are now live. You can go ahead.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Claudia Nix. I'm the chair of the Asheville Greenway Committee for the meeting September 2nd, 2021. And I just want to go over a few things first before we actually get into the meeting. Our mission is to advise the Multi-Modal Transportation Commission and the city staff on recommendations for the implementation of the Greenway network throughout Asheville, while also educating and engaging the public and advocating for funding. The Greenway Committee currently consists of 8 members, plus 3 non-voting ex officio members. They are representatives of partnering organizations that have an interest in greenways in Asheville. All voting members are appointed by the Multi-Modal Transportation Committee. For the time being, this committee is meeting virtually due to the city's COVID-related restrictions. We appreciate your patience as we work through the committee meetings a bit differently. We are streaming live on the city's Virtual Engagement Hub, which is accessible through the Virtual Engagement Hub link on the front page of the city's website, and also linked to the Asheville Greenway Committee page. Excuse me. We also have an option for the public to listen live by telephone. For those of you out there who are with us today, welcome. I will now go through and introduce all of the committee members who are participating virtually today. Please make sure to mute your microphone if you are not speaking. When you have a question or would like to speak, unmute your microphone. Please remember to re-mute your phone after you're done speaking. As I call your name, please say a quick hello. Sunny Carr, Vice Chair.
Hello.
Thank you. Elida Woods. Elida?
Hello.
Thank you. Lydia Ruthner.
Viewer. Hello.
Tell me again how I should say that.
Viewer, like Ferris Bueller's Day Off. No.
Oh, viewer. Okay. Is Kenny with us? Kenny Armstrong? No. Kristen Earhart?
Hello.
Thank you. Richie Roselle, our secretary.
Hello.
And Mike Zurkowski.
Hello.
Welcome. Glad to have all of you with us today. And our ex officio members, please state your name after I mention your organization. Asheville on Bikes.
Hi, I'm Abby Walker, here from Mike Sewell.
Riverlink.
Hi, I'm RJ Taylor with Riverlink.
Mountain True.
Hi, I'm Chris Trail with Mountain True.
Thank you, guys. We appreciate everyone's ability to be here today. In addition to our usual members, today we have a few guests, and the first one that will be joining us is Carla Berneri from Buncombe County Parks Services. Carla, thank you for coming. And Ken Putnam, Director of the Asheville Transportation Department for the city. Thank you, Ken. In an effort to help our audience to follow along, I will state each section of our agenda out loud and do a vocal roll call for each vote. Additionally, I will ask committee members to raise your hand to speak, and I will call upon you. This should help us keep from speaking over each other, which is a major problem when we're trying to meet like this. Okay. Please be aware that it is common to have technology problems following a presentation, such as a screen may freeze or a participant may be kicked out of the meeting. If this happens, just hang up, from the meeting and re-enter using the same link that you used to join. To start, does anybody have additions that need to be added to our agenda today? Hearing none, we will start first of all with last meeting's agenda minutes that Richie so nicely took. Has everyone had a chance to review those minutes, hopefully? May I have a motion to accept the minutes?
I motion to approve the minutes, Lydia.
Okay, Lydia, thank you.
Mike seconds.
Thank you, Mike. Okay, so to start, we are going to go a little out of order of the agenda that you had because Carla has another meeting to go to. So we'll start with our new business first, which is with Carla Fineri. And Carla, do you want to share your screen with everybody?
Yes, I can do that. Let's see. Let me know if you guys do not see the presentation.
Yay, we see it.
All right. Well, I will go ahead and begin. My name is Carla Finari, and I am with Buncombe County Recreation Services. I am the Greenways planner and parks planner for the county. This is going to be the first time I presented with Google Meets, so I can't actually see any of you guys. So if you guys are like raising your hands to ask questions, I really can't see it. But I do have time for a few questions at the end. But I'm just going to go through some of our 4 Greenways projects that are underway and a few of our park updates, just so you guys are aware of it. And I'm going to apologize ahead of time if you guys hear my dogs. They will bark at some point, I'm sure. All right. So, these are the current projects that I am managing at the moment. So we have 3 Greenway projects, which is the Highway 251, Beaver Dam Creek and Woodfin, Inca Heritage Trail out in Candler, Reams Creek Greenway in Weaverville, and then the Hominy Creek Greenway, which I'll get more into that. That one's a little more complicated. But that one is going from Hominy River Park up to the farmers market. And then we have an Orchard Street Park, the Inca Recreation Destination, which is it encompasses the Inca Heritage Trail, and then Buncombe County Multi-Modal Master Plan. I will go ahead and start with the Highway 251 Woodfin Greenway. If you guys are not familiar with this greenway, it does start at the light right there on Riverside Drive and Broadway, following along the river as often as it can. It won't be along the river the entire time, but up to the MSD, and it's about a 3-mile corridor. We do have Federal Highways Administration grants for this. Sorry, didn't mean to go through that. And we have it through the engineering design phase, and we have most of the construction funded, but we still need, we're still short about $1.6 million for construction. But also included with that, so at the top end where it's at the MSD, it will cut across Beaver Dam Creek and follow along the creek over to the Reynolds Village area, but it won't go up to Reynolds Village. So these were 2 separate projects, and NCDOT ended up combining them for us early last year before the shutdown. So now we will be constructing all 5 miles at the same time once we get to that point. Both of these are in the engineering and design phase right now. The 3 miles, this section right here is already, there's a contract already started with the engineering firm, which is HNTB, and one of their main sub-consultants is Equinox, who's local. So that is underway. And then this one, I actually just got the scope from the engineering firm yesterday on it. So we're going over it, and then we should be under contract with that section of it. So it's just, they're going to be done at the same time, and then we'll move forward and we'll have 5 miles. Yay.
That'll be exciting.
Yes, very exciting. So the funding for this is local commitment, which is a joint commitment with the county and the town of Woodfin at $1.516 million. Federal Highways grant is $6.064 million with a total of $7.580 million. Again, we are based on current construction projections. We're about $1.6 million short of having the full construction funds for this. We will have a better idea once the engineering and design phase of this is done. And then I also applied for recovery funds for this project through the county. So if we get that, then we should be good to go. But that's not a guarantee. This is just some early renderings of what it could look like. The project status, like I mentioned, at the end of this, it will, I didn't mention this part, but it will yield construction ready documents. So then once this is done and we can secure the complete funding for construction, then we will bid out for final design and construction all in one RFQ. This greenway is also part of a larger destination. Some of you may know about the Woodfin Greenway and Blueway. So it includes a new park that should be completed by the end of this calendar year. They have been working on it for a while now, and it's coming along pretty nicely. The Woodfin Wave and the Woodfin Wave Park. I can't really answer too many questions about those, but because that's the town of Woodfin who manages those projects. But I do know that the Woodfin Wave and the Woodfin Wave Park has, I think they just hit final design on the site plan for that. But Silverline Park should be done by the end of this calendar year. So the current timeline is for the engineering and design phase to be completed in Q1 of 2024. This is coming from the engineering firm. We are trying to rework that schedule to get it in earlier 2023 to be completed so that we can go bid for construction at the end of 2023. But there's no guaranteed right now. The engineering firm is not 100% sure they can have a shorter timeline on this one. All right, so this is Inca Heritage Trail. Can you guys see my cursor? Yes. Okay, so down in this area is Sand Hill, close to the Ingalls, that's out in Candler. This is AV Tech campus. So then it will follow as closely along Hominy Creek as possible. It will go under the bridge to nowhere into the sports park right here. It will come back across the creek. There will be a spur either right here or back here up into the ball fields. That's what they're looking at right now. And then again, come along. This is a little spur that comes off into Inca Intermediate School. And then we'll cross the creek again into this open field over here and then out to the crossing at Warren Haynes Drive and Sand Hill. This is also in the same phase as the Woodfin Greenway, where it's in engineering design phase. We actually just had a site visit earlier this week to kind of help nail down the alignment. So we should know in a couple of weeks our preferred alignment on this one. And it might look a little different than what you're currently looking at. When we went through the environmental impacts and constraints map, there was a lot of issues with the feasibility alignment and with stuff that was going on underground and archaeological stuff, native species and everything like that. So we're having to rework it a little bit, but it's not going to be too crazy of a difference.
Are you going to be able to follow the creek?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. We'll pretty much be along the creek most of the time.
Okay.
I mean, that's what our preferred alignment is, and then they're going to do more studying on it. So this one is 1.28 local commitment that's coming from the county, 5.12 of the grant, and then 6.4 million. And based off of the current construction estimates, we have full funding for to finish out the engineering phase and construction. As long as we don't get shut down again or something stops us again, we should be good to go on that one. The Inca Heritage Trail is also a part of a larger destination, recreation destination. So at the sports park, we are adding 3 turf soccer fields, lights for those turf fields, updated bathrooms, a new 11v11 just open like soccer field, inclusive play structures, an agility course, pavilions, Wi-Fi, a dog park. We're adding a lot of things out there. Oh, we added some another volleyball court as well that got destroyed during the storms, so that was fun. So this is just an overview of the whole recreation destination. The pink line is the feasibility alignment for the Greenway. Like I said, it will this section over here is changing a little bit, but this section is pretty much the same coming down here. And then these 2 fields right here and this field right here, the fields that are getting turf. The dog park's going over here. The educational pavilion with bathrooms and Wi-Fi will be here. GH and I are supposed to be the inclusive play structures, but we are having to move them from this location because it's in the floodway and floodplain and flood everything. So we can't put permanent structures over there. But field F will still be just an open use field where we plan on putting that 11v11 soccer field. And then here we've added a couple volleyball courts. So just wanted to give you guys an overview of that project.
That's cool.
The timeline for this, for the Greenway section of it, not the entire project. The Greenway section of it is slated to be completed, the engineering and design work, by September 30th of next year. It may take a little bit longer, but it shouldn't take much longer. So once we have those and everything's approved and it's approved through DOT, then we can let out for construction, for final design and construction, which we're hoping to be able to do by Q4 of 2022. So that is really good news because that might be our first Greenway that's more than 0.4 miles completed in the county outside of the city of Asheville. All right, so this is our Reams Creek Greenway. This is the one that's in Weaverville. So down here where my cursor is on the right side of the red alignment is Carpin soccer fields. And the alignment is slated to go along Reams Creek, along the creek itself, all the way up to Lake Louise. And then I cut it off on accident, but it will go out further. There's like Future 26 is right here, so we'll go under Future 26 and it will terminate just past that. So this is a greenway that is also funded through the Federal Highways Administration. We only have funding for the engineering and design phase. We have not secured any construction funds for this. So we don't have a timeline for construction on this at all. But we are in negotiations with the firm. And it's an engineering design phase as well. So when this study is done, we will have documents ready to bid for or to let out for design and construction. We should have the scope and everything from the firm by the end of September. That's what their projected date is. So hopefully we can sign a contract and get this study started. This is just a projected timeline, like I told y'all. Right, so Hominy Creek Greenway. I don't have a map of this one, so I apologize for that, but it is from Hominy Creek River Park up to the farmers market. When we got our shutdown last year, DOT shut down all of our projects, and we got approval to go ahead and move forward with the other 3 greenways that I had already talked about, and then last year. But then we just got approval a couple months ago to move forward with the Hominy Creek Greenway, which is the 1 mile, again, from the Hominy River Park up to the farmers market. This is only for engineering and design. and the grant total is 400,000. That's definitely going to not be what it's going to cost. So we are trying to wait on this one a little bit, but the county also will not give us our 80,000 matching until fiscal year 26. So we can't start this project until the earliest of fiscal year 26, which also means the cost for this is going to go up. So this was another Greenway that I applied for recovery funds for the grant through the county on. So we're hoping we get that so we can go ahead and move this forward. But as of right now, this is a future project from a few years from now.
Carly,
Sure,
what would
do
you
you-
cross Hominy Creek?
Sorry, what'd you say?
At what point would you cross Hominy Creek along that corridor?
It's unclear at the moment because of the steepness behind the farmer's market. The original plan was to go down, what's the name of that road that's out there?
Hominy Creek Road.
That's easy to remember. Go down Hominy Creek, cross
The old bridge.
near the old bridge. Yeah, I think Lucy, you guys are doing a study on that bridge to seat this fall, right?
That's right. There's money in this year's budget for an assessment of that bridge.
Yeah. So once that is completed, which will be completed before we can even move forward with this project, we would have a better idea. Because if we can use that bridge, then that's great. But if not, then we'll have to figure something else out.
So, Carla, does the county own all that property from the park up to the bridge?
No.
Some of that is, I think some of it is owned by the city too.
Yeah, it's joint. It's definitely city or county, one or the other. But I'm sure there's pockets everywhere, like I've realized with most of our projects.
Well, I wonder if we can request, and this is something Mike might be able to help us with, some of that area is also involved with the I-26 widening. Right, Mike? And apparently DOT is supposed to be responsible for some of that. So maybe we could get some of it done through DOT?
Only what's within the project boundaries.
Yeah, and it's not our Greenway alignment. It's the part that is in the DOT project boundaries is the part that goes from the farmers market down to the outlets.
Oh,
Yeah, so like the part that's from the farmers market to the Hominy Creek is not in their project study area.
none of that is. Okay.
Yeah. All right. So Orchard Street Park is it's nothing right now. It's just an open field, but it's a future park that's located off Smoky Park Highway in Candler. It was bought with FEMA disaster relief money from a hurricane probably about 10 years ago, and North Carolina Emergency Management disaster relief funds from that same hurricane. It used to have some trailer, it was a trailer park, and it flooded from the hurricane, so the county bought it to use it as open space.
Smoky Park Highway. I don't know where that's located.
So here's Smoky Park Highway down here. Orchard Street is here. It's near where the new DOT exit ramp is going. So the the highway exit ramp is going like right over here.
Near White Terrace.
I'm not sure what that is, if I'm being honest with you.
Okay.
Hey, Carla, Claudia, I think it's, where the Miami restaurant is?
Yeah, it is near that.
It's near that. It's near the 151, where 151 and Dogwood and Smoky Park all come together.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Miami restaurant's like right over here. I'm really bad with street names though, so I apologize, guys. So this project has been a 3-year project because of the way that it was bought. There's deed restrictions from FEMA of what we can and cannot do on this property. So this has to be a passive park. You can't have permanent structures in here or anything like that. So we had to come up with a way to figure out how we can still make this something the community actually wants, but also stuff that we could do with it. So we hired Equinox Environmental to do a site plan for us so that we could send it to FEMA, because FEMA has to approve our site plan. So basically it's just a creek access, a natural surface walking trail over here. Everything in green is open space here, open space here. And then we're working with Greenworks. They're going to use this as a plant nursery to grow plants that they can plant in on school grounds, on the Buncombe County school system grounds and any Buncombe County property.
Cool.
So that was a pretty cool use that we came up with. And there's going to be a lot of stream bank restoration down in here as well.
Good.
I submitted this to FEMA back in May. I requested an update 4 weeks ago and still haven't heard back from them. So there's no telling when I'm going to hear back from FEMA on whether we could actually move forward with this. If anyone knows how the federal government works, you know. And then the Buncombe County Multi-Modal Master Plan, we just got awarded this through the MPO. This is something that we are looking, it's not going to replace our Greenways Master Plan at all. This is just something that will help us connect through into the city's greenways and bike and pedestrian infrastructure, as well as our own. Because we have learned that there are definitely areas within the county that greenways are just not necessarily feasible. So this plan will encompass greenways, but it'll also encompass natural trails, sidewalks, bike paths, some transit routes for mountain mobility, and a few other things like that. But we just got the contracts from the MPO, and it is currently in our county contracting system waiting to be approved by management. And once that happens, then we can send out an RFQ to go ahead and start this study. All right. That is it for me. Oh, I don't know.
Oh, that's wonderful news.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing all that.
You're welcome. I can't see you guys at all.
We can see you.
Okay, I don't know how to get out of this. Hold on. Do you guys have any questions for me before I have to jump off here and head out to the Buncombe County Sports Park?
Does anybody have a question? Raise your hand if you do.
What's
Richie.
up, Richie?
Hey, Carla.
Hey, Richie.
Hey, long time no see.
I know.
One clarification question on Reams Creek Greenway. So it would not have a terminus at Riverside Drive or come all the way down to the river. It would end someplace under 26. Is that what you said?
For which one did you say? Reams
Reams
Creek?
Creek.
Right. It goes past Lake Louise and past, there's a firing range out there that the town of Woodfin uses for their police department. But it goes past that. There is a Greenway plan past that as well. It's just this study is just that small section of it. So it's not necessarily going to terminate there. It will eventually continue on. So.
Carla?
Yes.
Go, Abby?
I just have a quick question. Is your slideshow attached in the meeting minutes?
Lucy has it, yes.
Okay, awesome. I just want to make sure Mike can look at it later. Fantastic.
And you guys can always, feel free to email me with questions whenever you have them. I'm happy to answer whatever you need or have questions about.
Great. So, Carla, do you know how they're planning to cross Merriman Avenue?
Merriman?
On
Reams Creek. So that was part of what we talked about in the scoping. You talking about for Beaver Dam Creek? We don't. They don't know yet. When we were doing our scoping meeting, we were looking at it, and it's a pretty crazy area right there.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, we talked about a few different things. We also talked about just stopping, like not necessarily crossing Merriman right now until DOT can get out there and kind of do some updates. So We'll see. We'll see.
Okay. Anybody else have questions or
Yeah,
comments?
Carla, this is RJ Taylor with Riverlink. On the Hominy Creek Greenway that's being proposed, I discovered there was a lost conservation easement over that park and up to the transfer station in the records that goes basically along the east side of Hominy Creek. But before I leave the organization tomorrow, I'll send you some maps and information on that. So
You're leaving?
Yeah, I'm retiring tomorrow.
You're not allowed to.
Oh, tomorrow.
Well,
Gosh.
RJ, just so you know, I have asked a few different times, or because the few people that were circulating that question you asked me, I am still waiting on an update from our county attorney on that whole conservation easement. So if you want to, you send me whatever you want to, whatever you have on it, and then I guess I will just, once we have an answer about that conservation easement on who to report to, then I will reach out to whoever is left at Riverlink.
Great. Well, thank you. I just want to make sure you remember it and we're aware of it.
Yeah, I mean, no, we are, yeah, and thank you for bringing that to our attention because we were not aware of it until you brought it to our attention.
Okay. Anybody else? Carla, we really appreciate your time and coming to speak to us.
Yeah, of course.
Exciting.
Again, if you guys have any questions on anything I reported on, or just even something that I maybe didn't report on, please email me and ask me, and I'm happy to answer anything for you guys.
Great.
All right. Have a great weekend.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Bye.
Take care. Okay. That's very exciting news. So I just realized that I got a motion and a second, but I didn't vote on the minutes. So I'm going to go back and take a vote. All in favor of the motion to accept last meeting, say, raise your hand.
Aye.
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 Any negatives? Okay, it passes. Thank you. Bear with me. Okay, next, we will do our staff updates, Lucy.
All right. Well, I just realized that there's an old spreadsheet in the agenda that came from the July meeting, but I'll just run through the Greenway ones, and I will send you in an email the most updated spreadsheet of all the transportation and capital projects that we're working on. But in a nutshell, the French Broad River Greenway is going great. They're still doing their grading, and we have a small design redesign that needs to be done, but it seems to be relatively minor and should not produce any delays. The Nasty Branch Greenway, we are finishing up the last bit of design with the stormwater changes that were asked for permitting. And once that is finished, we'll send it to the DOT for final review. And if they give us the go-ahead, then the money will be available for us to look for a contractor.
Great.
The Greenway Connectors are at a 65% design and moving quickly into the 90% designs. No big news on those. The Neighborhood Greenway Connectors, we are moving forward with the rhododendron Greenway concept and the Arco Road Connector. If you remember, this is a number of months ago, I gave you that presentation. Arco is off of between Tunnel Road and New Hawk Creek Road, and the Rhododendron Greenway, which is actually a corridor on our master plan, is across the street from Hominy Creek Greenway. It's across Shelburne Road from there. It goes through a city-owned property that used to be an armory, and this section of the Greenway corridor that we're talking about will go from Shelburne Road to Talmadge Road. through the Armory. So Sunny lives in that neighborhood. I've already been in touch with you, Sunny, about meeting with you and another neighbor in that vicinity to talk about how to begin public engagement with the neighbors there. Let's see, Swannanoa River Greenway is going great. We are definitely moving out of the 60% designs and moving towards 90% designs. We're engaged with our consultants who do our easement work, and we'll be doing a lot of easement work in this phase. I don't know if you saw in the newspaper, but we got a rather large easement from the business that owns a brewery at the end of Thompson Street. And he gave it to us pretty much for free. It was an exchange. It was kind of a land swap, but that was something that we were hoping would happen, and it did. So that is always happy when things work out like that.
Yeah.
And the North Rad Tip project, as you know, we have the money to do the design work for that. I just need to find a few minutes to be able to release the request for letter of interest. I've been pretty busy with the GAP plan, which I'll tell you about. We just started another round of public engagement. We had 2 online meetings to give an update on where we are. Essentially, we finished our assessments of other plans and the existing environment, and we've also collected all of the information from the surveys that we did and compiled it all, and have a preliminary map that we have available online now. So if you go to the Close the Gap page, which I can show you right now. Oh, wait. Let me try that again. Can you see that? This is
Yep.
our Close the Gap page, and that right down under what's happening now is the survey link. There's also, pretty soon we will have embedded in the survey instructions on how to take this survey, because the maps are pretty complicated. So there's a few steps that will give people tips on how to take it. We also have both of the meetings recorded here with the presentation for you to share with anyone you want. And we've got this really awesome video here, which if we have time at the end of the meeting, we can come back to. I don't want to take up 10 minutes showing it to you unless we've got it to burn. But it's a sweet little video. It'll give you all.
It is great. I like it.
It gives you lots of reasons why we're doing the GAP, and Claudia's in it. Need I say more? So everyone, please, please, please take the survey and share it with your networks and your friends and families, and get as many people as you can to take these surveys. The intermediate phase of most plans, we don't expect to get a whole lot of feedback. Most people are too busy to care about a middle point of a planning process. But if we can get as many as possible, that would be wonderful. Let's see, moving on. I already gave an update on the Swannanoa River Greenway. We will be doing public engagement, and it will most likely be in November. Since it is going to be an informational meeting, we don't really need a whole lot of input now. We have the alignment pretty much locked in, and it is very similar to other greenways that we've ever seen, where you've really got to thread the needle through floodplains and hard spots and private property issues. So we've got this alignment down that we really can't change too much. So our public engagement will be a video. It'll have nice flyover footage. It will explain the area where we're putting it and what it will look like. So that will be going on to the Swannanoa River project page in November, and we'll be doing an online survey for people to be able to provide comments. And then the last thing that I wanted to talk about was our Intercept surveys, which were done as part of the GAP plan. Were done on the greenways during the month of August. They went really well. We had 2 areas that our volunteers were staked out, and I know some of you volunteered. I'd like to thank you very much for doing that. We were on the Reed Creek Greenway on W.T. Weaver Boulevard, and then also on the Wilma Dykeman Greenway. And it was done on one weekday, which was a Thursday, and then also on a Saturday. And the hours were from about 7 a.m. till 3 p.m. And I don't know the exact numbers now. I was hoping I'd have a little bit more to share with you today on the results of that, but they're still gathering all the information that they got. But it was a very positive experience. Some volunteers have said that it's really strengthened their commitment to wanting to see greenways from just receiving the positive feedback from people who took the surveys. So I can't wait to see what the answers were in the surveys. But this Intercept survey is a style of survey that's really important for greenways in that it kind of this one will set the benchmark for our greenway use on these 2 greenways. Will help us determine why people are using it, whether they're residents or visitors, which has implications on economic benefits of greenways, as well as just the overall general usage. So this is the first Intercept survey we have done on the greenways. And if we are able to do it again, maybe not next year, but if you do them every several years, you could start seeing a trend line on how the greenways are being used. And if they're the type of facility that a lot of visitors are using, it's got a lot of economic benefit implications that help get different types of grants. So I'm pretty excited that we finally got our first Intercept surveys done. And that's the update. That's what I got.
Great. Thank you, Lucy. We appreciate it. Anybody have any questions or comments for Lucy?
Lucy, can you hear me?
I can. Hi, Mike.
Okay, hi. You talked about previously that we'd be able to get some plans and specs of the progress sets coming up. And I know that we're now meeting virtually. Is there a way that we can get a chance of the progress specifications and plans?
Are you talking about the Swannanoa?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's do that. This meeting was kind of packed with finishing with the I-26 and stuff, but unless you guys want to do a field trip next month, we could put that on the top of the agenda for next month.
Okay. Is there a way that we can have access to them outside of the meeting?
Sure, I'll share them with you.
Great.
Okay.
I'll put them while we are moving on to something else. I'll even put them
Richie?
in the comments for you.
Thank you.
On the Intercept surveys, I know that between the 2 days, the Flying Bike probably ran like 3 tours through your survey area. And I know we got counted, which is great. But because of our timetable, we weren't, I wasn't able to stop and answer questions. Is it worth reaching out to whoever's organizing the survey to give a statement of use, or is that ship sailed?
Yeah, that is a really good idea, Richie. We did notice that there were groups of rental businesses just like yours, and decided that it would maybe be good to throw out a survey to your businesses just as a follow-up with that. So I will make sure that our consultants remember to do that.
Good. Anybody else? Okay, moving along. Next item of business is Ken Putnam has some updates for us. Ken, are you still with us?
Yes, I am. I had to move locations, but I'm here.
Good.
What I need, I'm going to share my screen in just a minute, but let me just give you a bit of background. Lucy and I were in a meeting with the DOT this morning, and they have done conceptual drawings of 2 pedestrian bridges that will be on the east side of Patton Avenue. And they want us to look, or they wanted us to share these concepts with you as a group and to get your feedback, because at least one of them would be definitely a Greenway connection, the one up near Isaac Dixon School. And then the other one is near the bridge that's existing now for Hillcrest Apartments. So let me share my screen and we'll go over those.
Okay.
Just bear with me for a second. Okay. The first one I'll share, and can everybody see it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Not sure where it is.
Okay. Well, Claudia, this is part of the test. You have to kind of guess.
Okay.
You know, my cursor's over here on the left-hand side of the page. That's Hillcrest.
I don't see your cursor.
Well, it doesn't.
Ken, is there any way that you can get the PDF to fill the entire screen?
Yeah.
I don't think so, but let me see. I'll have to stop sharing, so I'll be back.
Okay.
We'll try it again now. Is that better?
Oh, yes.
Okay. So again,
What's that big blank spot on the right? Lower right.
The big blank spot, the one that says
It's kind of a dark purple, right?
I don't see what you're talking about. I apologize.
Okay. I think that's off of Hill Street.
Okay.
Is that the Hill Street ramp?
Well, right over here to the left of the left side of the page is Hillcrest Apartments.
Okay. I see all those cars up there.
Underneath all those colored lines, that's the existing bridge that takes people between Hillcrest and over to Hill Street.
Where the red lines are?
Underneath all those
Underneath
lines,
it.
there's
Okay.
a
Yeah.
bridge.
Yeah. I see that road.
The brand new pedestrian bridge right here on the left is you can see the crosswalk.
Oh, yeah.
And that crosswalk is going across the brand new Hill Street that'll be relocated from where it is to this side of the road to get down to Riverside Drive.
Oh, it's going to be right next to the apartments then. Okay.
Yeah. So the new bridge is bounded by the red lines that you can see going in the straight lines over towards Cortland.
That's the pedestrian bridge?
Yes, that's the new pedestrian bridge. And when you get to the
Okay.
right-hand side of that, then
Yeah.
you can see the ramp system.
Yeah.
It's in the gray,
Yes.
and it kind of goes around and comes back down like this.
Yes. And then
it
another
crosses
crosswalk.
It crosses the Hill Street ramp right there.
Oh, wow.
Okay. So this is the way the new bridge, the pedestrian bridge would be, that the Atkinson Bridge that's there now that carries cars will no longer be there.
Okay.
And so all of the interstate and all of these ramps and everything, except for Hill Street, they'll be depressed down kind of
Down low.
in a hole, so to speak.
Yes.
Okay. So this is what they're wanting from us is the go ahead to start doing a further design on
So
this
how many,
structure.
is that a lot of lanes of traffic? There's the Hill Street,
Yeah,
one road each
Field
way.
Street and then I-240 in both directions, and then a series of ramps.
Okay. One ramp comes down. I guess it's going down to Riverside.
Well, that's Hill Street over here on the left-hand side of the page, Claudia.
Well, then what's this on the right? In the
Well,
middle, down the middle.
Down the middle.
Yeah.
Well, some of those ramps are for
These
the
two.
flyovers that are off the page here.
Oh, okay. Wow. That's a long bridge, isn't it?
It looks like it'd be 285 feet. Three different spans.
200.
Ken,
Yes, sir, Mike.
the existing bridge sorry, hold on.
That must be your watchdog, Mike.
I'm sorry about that. The existing bridge has vehicle lighting and also pedestrian lighting. Since that area is a little bit more high crime rate area, will the new bridge and the handicap ramp have pedestrian lighting so that it's safe to use at night?
Well, if that was, the short answer is yes, but they need to hear that from us as a group. So
Okay.
that's part of the recommendation from the Greenway Committee. Then Lucy and I'll share that. Yes, sir.
Okay.
We
And
want pedestrian type lighting.
yeah, and I will say too that in the city's betterment cost, the $2 million that we have obligated for those kinds of things, we already have money allocated for this pedestrian bridge and the one that, well, for two pedestrian bridges. So we may not have to add any more for our cost share, but
Okay.
once all this is designed, we'll have a better idea, because I think the costs that are in there now did not account for this ramp system that you see on the right-hand side.
Okay.
Is that ramp system going to be on a structure or will it be on a berm?
It may be a combination of those things, and I don't know that yet, and that's what they'll have to design, Mike.
Because I think that if they separate the switchback, so there's more on a berm and less walls, it'll look more natural and be less prone to graffiti.
Mm-hmm.
And where will the pedestrians go? Do they walk that ramp?
Yes,
Wow, that's a long walk.
right, but that's ADA compliant.
Okay. So it'll be a sidewalk.
I'm sorry.
Sidewalk?
Well, it's the ramp. That's what you see in the gray color, and and it's 14 feet wide.
So it's not, oh, okay. So that's not a traffic ramp. Okay. That's the pedestrian ramp. I gotcha. Gotcha.
Mm-hmm. And those little yellow things that you see, that's
The yellow
that's
stripes?
The yellow stripes, that's the landing areas that you can go so far on a slope, and then you got to have a flat area, and then you go again. And those are about 6 feet wide right now. But again, the design will tweak that.
Wow.
Ken, you did ask them today about the possibility of a flight of stairs on this ramp for the people who are able to use it.
Yeah, in fact, that came, thanks, Lucy. That came from Steve Cannon with the local DOT office. On the right-hand side where that ramp is, he asked about the possibility of having a set of stairs that could come down possibly, and
Oh, that would be good.
Therefore, people would have a choice.
Yeah.
They would be able to walk up and down the stairs, or they'd be able to take the ramp.
Take the ramp. I think that's a great idea.
And so they are going to try to incorporate that, yes.
Yeah, that's good. Because we should probably make a comment that we would like to see the steps.
That wouldn't hurt. Mm-hmm.
In case anyone's interested, something similar to this has been done in the city of Winston-Salem with like the steps and then the ADA ramp.
Yeah,
where
that's
is that
pretty
at?
common.
Is that on the old I-40 by I-40 business, or?
Yeah, the old I-40 business that just reopened, and then it was the like the MLK right by the ballpark.
I gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
Claudia, in the bikers, I know that there's a lot of staircases that have a little foot,
Yeah.
18-inch wide ramp so that you can climb the stairs and hold your bike.
Right.
Would that make sense to have there also?
I think it would. If somebody didn't want to ride their bike, if it's real busy, a bicyclist will not want to go ride out all the way down the ramp or up the ramp. And if they could
I would
just
think
walk,
I'm not a big biker, but I know that I would rather walk up a set of stairs with my bike next to me than try to go up a ramp.
well,
Yeah, it kind of
particularly if
depends on
there's
the
if there's a
elevation.
number of people in wheelchairs on there.
Right.
I think that would be a good idea.
But since we're talking about bikes, I'm curious whether there's enough cross-section width on the bridge to delineate, a cycle track and then a walking path to minimize interactions there. Because, you're hemmed in by obviously probably some pretty tall walls on each side. And
It's 14 feet wide, isn't that correct, Ken?
Yes, sir. And I'm not sure, the jury's still out on whether or not the city will be paying for the extra 4 feet. But in the meeting today, it almost sounded like they were committed to doing 14 feet, at least on that bridge.
Oh, good.
Which I didn't argue with.
No, I wouldn't argue either.
But what I would ask is that if someone maybe, and I'm not trying to volunteer someone, but since Richie's the secretary, that's why I was going to say this. If you could just give me, when we're in the next day or so, if you could just give me the in bulleted form the things that you would recommend, and then we'll pass that on to the DOT.
Sure.
Well, we're also doing a letter to DOT, and we can just duplicate anything that you say just to make sure that we agree with that kind of thing.
Okay. So is everybody okay with this one? And I'll jump to the other one because there's 2 different options, or actually 3 different options on the other one.
Does anybody have any other questions or comments to make to Ken about this pedestrian ramp?
We could come back too if you need to.
Seems like we're okay, Ken.
All right. I'm going to just give me a second here. And let's see. All right. I'll do this one first. All right. Well, I'm going to have to stop and so I can blow it up. Sorry about that.
It's okay.
All right. Okay, this one's at Isaac Dixon School, and right up here, the top left is Hill Street Baptist Church, and to the right of that is their parking lot, and then kind of off you can see a couple of school buses over here. So the existing pedestrian bridge that we know it today is right through here, where you can see the caption boxes that says span length 65 and span length 80. That existing bridge is right under that. Okay, so that gets oriented, okay?
Okay, where the shadow is?
Well, it's to the left of the shadow.
Okay.
And also...
So that'll be coming down.
This pedestrian bridge would be a total of 145 feet, and it's in this little red box that you can see right here.
Okay.
And then that ramp system is here to the left. I'm kind of tracing it, and it kind of goes around.
Mm-hmm.
And then it hits Hill Street at grade. So that's a crosswalk right there. And then there's another sidewalk that would take it back over to the driveway for the school. So this is one concept so this, in essence, this ramp system is parallel to Hill Street. I
got it.
Okay. Now, let me get out of that one for a second, and we can bounce back and forth. But let me get to this last one here. Oh, now I got to do that blow one up thing again.
It helps.
Yeah, right. Okay, I think that's big enough. Let me try this sharing now. All right, this one now is almost on top of the existing bridge.
Yeah.
Okay, and it's going to be 85 and 75. It's 160. It'd be 220 feet. And then you can see what it does. The ramp system, it will go into the parking lot
Of the school.
Okay, so that's that. But here's the positive thing to this one, I believe, is the fact that it goes over Hill Street.
Yeah, and you don't have to have a crosswalk. I like that.
That's right. You don't have to go over Hill Street at all. And I think there's
that's
a good
better.
chance that a lot more school-age kids will be using this one.
Yes, and they're younger, much younger
and
kids
younger.
there.
And
I
if
like
I'm not-
that best.
If I'm not mistaken, I guess the Reams Creek Greenway someday will come down and hit this, then allow you to go down into the River Arts District. Is that a fair statement?
The Reed Creek Greenway.
Reed Creek. I'm sorry. Well, I got the R right.
The R and the E.
Two of the E's.
Yeah,
Almost so close.
so close,
So,
but no cigar.
all right. Now, the third concept, and I can't do the drawing features that they showed us, but I'll try to explain it. Instead of having the third concept would be just like this, except what it will do is here's Hill Street, existing Hill Street. See how close it is to the church and everything?
Wow, it's right next to it.
Well, that's the way it is now.
Okay.
So they would relocate Hill Street down towards the interstate, push it where all this kind of grassy area is, push it as far away they can. Then they would use the area where the Hill Street is and change that ramp and have it run parallel right here.
Oh.
So that you will still go over Hill Street. Okay. You'll still
But
go
then
over
you
Hill
would
Street,
turn left.
and then you would just come down the ramp and you would hit right here.
Oh,
So
that.
this whole piece here would just be turned around and be in this area right there.
Yeah. Oh, that's cool.
Ken,
Yes, yes.
this is Lyda Woods.
Uh-huh.
Has the school been consulted or the school board about these options? They've been shown the options?
As far as I know, they have not.
I think we
Okay.
should do that.
Can I suggest that happen? As the former principal at Isaac Dixon,
Uh-huh.
we had a tremendous problem with people wandering down from the number of shelters that were up there over that bridge, landing on our campus.
Okay.
And I really hope that you'll consult the school and the school board about that, because we had people sleeping on buses, parked on the front porch. It was a pretty big problem. So I'm hoping that you can share your ideas with the school.
Oh, I'll be glad to, and if we just incorporate them into the Greenway comments. But let me just ask, and I'm not trying to put you on the spot, but if that's a real problem and it continues to exist, then how would we feel if the bridge is not put there?
Well, I would want you to ask the school, because I know that when I was there, the kids wanted to use the existing bridge for field trips and stuff, but it was too dangerous. There was too much broken glass. There were too many needles. It was, it was a nice idea to have the kids use it, but it wasn't a viable one. So they always had to
This will
welcome.
be a huge improvement, Elida, and many more people will be on it. So
Well, I hope so, but I still think you ought to consult the school about
Definitely.
what design would, suit them better.
Sure. And I'll be glad to pass that on. That's absolutely no problem at all.
Okay, that's great.
And one of the things you brought up about that is, originally, this is one of 3 pedestrian bridges we had in this area.
Yeah.
This
Right.
one and the one that's over at the Jeff Bowen Bridges, and then the one that's down below Haywood Road. And over the years, 2 of the 3 were closed down.
Right.
And then the one over the Jeff Bowen Bridges was reopened fairly recently, I'll say. But
Yeah.
But yeah, that's a good point, and we definitely need to pass that on. Yes.
Yeah, the principal of the school's name is Brad Johnson.
Okay.
Also, Ken,
Yes.
I know you can't see it on this drawing, but Hill Street now actually crosses the freeway, and if you went west on Hill Street, you can actually then go south down to hit Patton. There actually is a way now that connects that area of Hill Street and that neighborhood to downtown without using that bridge. Correct?
Yeah, you're talking about the roundabout concept that they've done on the east side. Yes, I'm aware of that.
So that will give people another way to get to that neighborhood from downtown besides that pedestrian bridge.
Right. But I think what the DOT is wanting from us, because they're under the impression that this pedestrian bridge was vital for the future Greenway connection.
You're right.
And
My
if
bad.
it's not, then they need to know that because of these other issues that were just brought up.
Mm-hmm.
You're absolutely right. I spoke out of turn.
No, that's okay. There's no out of turn. But that's what they're looking to, is that guidance.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I think Lida's point is really important.
And to be fair, I don't think that the DOT realizes that problem.
Yeah, they probably don't.
And just like the other bridge, this bridge does have pedestrian lighting on it.
Yes.
And obviously we need to keep the lighting on the bridge and on the ramp itself.
Yes, I definitely agree with you on that. And again, this one would be the same 14 feet.
Ken, if you like, if it will be helpful, I will email Brad preemptively and just ask him to be looking for some communication would it be from you?
No, more than likely it'd be from the DOT themselves.
Okay.
On that. But if you could at least, you could send me his contact information so that I can give it to the DOT, and we can kind of keep that separate, we'll say, from the official response from the Greenway Committee as far as the actual contact information.
Okay, super. I'll do that I'll do it today or tomorrow.
Okay.
And Ken, so just so everybody has a full picture of these options, the ramp coming into the school parking lot obviously is an elevated above grade ramp that I imagine is held up with abutment, meaning underneath it, you can be underneath the ramp area. And kind of to Alida's point, folks could hang out underneath the ramp area, whereas the undrawn third option, which aligns the ramp with Hill Street and moves Hill Street, would take that shaded underneath area off school property.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
That's a good point. That's a
very good point.
Yep.
That would seem to be, of the three that you've shown, my preference.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
What I'm calling number 3.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's an excellent.
They just didn't have a drawing of that one. So, but they're the ones that brought it up. So that's why they wanted our input.
Yeah, I think that, Richie, you make a good point there.
No,
You don't want to have a place where people would be hanging out.
So is that the one that the Greenways can recommend?
I would think so.
I do too.
What does everybody think?
I just want to be clear, Richie, you're suggesting the one that is still
Not drawn.
above grade, but they would move Hill Street to the south and provide room along it parallel to the interstate. Okay.
Yeah, I moved the ramp off school property, but yeah.
Yeah, and we'll call that concept 3.
Okay.
Where is the Greenway coming from that would adjoin it?
Well, again, from Reed Creek, it would come down to, at some point it would tie into Cherry Street.
Yes.
And then would kind of parallel and then tie into Hill Street and come on down. So it'd be coming from the right-hand side of the page down towards.
It would have to cross over Montford.
Yes, you're right. Somewhere it would connect in there somewhere.
So the Greenway would be coming from the right, and we're moving the ramp toward the right.
No,
No, we're moving
moving
the ramp.
to the
The
left.
ramp would be moving to the
Oh.
left. So it'd tie in right there to about where that where the you can see the red on the bridge.
Mhm.
Yeah, that would make a great connection to get down. You could go either way then. You could take the Reed Creek up across and then this ramp and bridge and connect over to Klingman. Right?
Yes,
Yeah.
that's correct.
Yes, you could.
but Coat Branch is called now. But
Oh, yes. That would be cool.
So I've got one more
All
area
right.
to show you. Not this is not the pedestrian bridges. This is a Bear Creek Road. So I need guidance on that one as well. So I need to. Here it is. Okay, I'm just going to pop these up. Well, I think I better go ahead and stop sharing and do the blow up thing again. Oh yeah, I need it. I need it real bad on this one. Okay, I think this will work. So let me get back with you and go through this process again. I'm still a novice at this, though.
Well, you're doing better than I am.
Okay. So South Bear Creek Road, down, you know, where it ties into Brevard Road, right near the farmer's market. And to give you another point of reference, there's a hotel being built right there in the
Yes.
quadrant. Okay. And then there's an RV park that's up on the hill.
Yes.
That sort of thing. Okay. So the RV park is over here on the right-hand side of the page, where on this whole kind of area that I'm
Okay. Yeah.
doing this. Okay. So the bridge that's going to go, there's actual bridge that goes over I-240 now, and that's right here in the middle of the page.
Yes.
So what the DOT, the cross section on this bridge is going to be, and I don't know for sure if it shows up on here or not, but I'll explain it and I'll see if I can find it later. The typical cross section would be, there'd be 2 travel lanes. It would be 2 11-foot travel lanes. It would be a curb and gutter section out here on the off the bridge itself. So the 2 11-foot lanes, a 5-foot, we can almost call it a bike lane if you want to, between the travel lane and the face of the curb. No, the curb. So it'd be actually 7 feet. And then on this drawing, there'd be a 5-foot sidewalk on the bottom of this bridge, and there would be, I think they said, a 10-foot multi-use transportation path on the bridge on the north side.
10 foot.
Yes, I think that was right, wasn't it, Lucy? I'm pretty sure it was 10. Okay, so that's what the bridge is going to, that's the way they would do the bridge. The choice we have is, though, and this is what we got to talk about a little bit, is do we want the sidewalk down here on the bottom and the multi-use transportation path up here on the top, or do we want to reverse it and have the sidewalk up here and the multi-use transportation path down here? And here, to give you a little bit of clarity on it, right now, this light gray line right here is the 10-foot multi-use transportation path that comes back to that new neighborhood that's going to be built in the county. This is outside.
Down on Hominy Creek.
Say that again. Say that again.
Crossroads.
Okay. Yes. And then
I think it should be on that side.
Okay. Then here it is. You can see it over here going back towards the RV park, and then it just dead ends.
Huh.
Okay. So what to do and see?
Dead end.
Here it is. Here's what I was showing. Up here in the top here, you can see. So on the bridge itself, here's Can you see that? Here's
Yes.
the 11-foot lanes. There's 5 feet. Then there's a 2-foot gutter pan. Here's the 10-foot path. And then there'd be like a barrier right there
Okay.
separating them. And then on the opposite side, they're showing it as a 5.5-foot sidewalk because they're counting the curb.
Okay.
And then you would have the 2-foot gutter pan and you would have a 5-foot area. And they're calling it a recovery area, but that is wide enough to be a bike lane.
Bike lane, yeah. That would be nice to have all of that.
Then on the part that's not on the bridge,
That's a
here's what it
busy
looks
road.
like at the top. So you'd have this curb and gutter section, okay? And then where the multi-use transportation path is, from the back of the curb, it would be 9.5 feet to where the path would be. And it still has its 2-foot shoulders. You can see them right there.
Mm-hmm.
And all. So that 25 feet of distance to create that would be here. And
Now, is that the whole length all the way up to Brevard Road?
No, they don't go that far.
Okay.
That's the issue, and I can show you that in a minute here. But what the DOT is saying is, it's important for us to decide, do we want it on the top or the bottom? But what they're also, and they're going to build the bridge that way. But what they are saying is, we may choose not to put the asphalt down for this path until we can make a connection, but the project will grade it.
Oh, okay.
So that whole 25-foot distance
Wow.
would be graded, that the sidewalk or the path could be added later.
Wow.
Now,
Ken,
let
on
me
that
just-
section on the west, east, or the right side, there are a whole bunch of homes right along South Bear Creek Road. Are those
Yeah,
being-
there are.
All right. I'm sorry. Where is that? Over here on the left-hand side here?
On the right side toward where you call the dead end.
Oh, right in here?
Right adjacent to the road, yes.
Yeah, you can see the homes. There's a number of homes right here.
Looks like one of the homes, the path goes right through it.
Now, the other thing with DOT saying on this, since they're going to use a curb and gutter section, you see how sharp this curve is?
Yeah.
That curve would be flattened, so it would really come across and take those houses,
Phew.
pretty much. Now, I'm going to get out of this one and show you what it looks like on the left-hand side, and then there's one more I can show you that kind of shows it all
Okay.
together, okay?
Sonny has a question.
Sure, go ahead.
It wasn't really a question. I was just going to say the houses are going to get taken whether the path is there or not, right? It's not the
Yes.
path that's making the houses get taken. So a decision we're making is not contributing to someone's house getting taken.
No,
Okay.
that's correct.
Just wanted to clarify that.
Okay.
That's a good clarification.
Thank you, Sonny.
Okay, now let me show the one on the, just to give you an idea what it looks like on the south side. And again, I got to do the stop sharing thing. What happens is that stop sharing thing covers up my button to expand the thing. Okay. So this is just a drawing of it being on the south side. So you can see the gray multi-use transportation path, how it follows. So that would be what it looks like on the bridge. And then on the right-hand side, it would do the same thing and come around to here. But again, just like Sonny said a minute ago, this since the road is going to have curb and gutter, that's going to cause the curve to be flattened. So that's going to happen no matter what. They just don't have it drawn that way.
Okay.
And then the last thing I'll show you, and this may kind of bring it all together, because especially for Claudia's question about going all the way to Brevard Road, which would be nice.
Yeah, it would. Because that's going to be a major corridor and people are going to want to.
Okay, now I'll share it one more time, and I promise this is the last time I'll do this, and then we can talk a little bit more. Okay, This kind of shows it to you better. Here's Brevard Road up here with the traffic signal. And by the way, I don't know if you know this, but that traffic signal has been changed so that both side streets gets their own green time, which makes it a whole lot easier to make the turning movements there.
Oh, good.
Here's where the hotel's going.
Yeah.
And the hotel, of course, has got a sidewalk along their entire frontage. But you see, here's where the project would end. So that dead end would be, so you
Boy, on those two curves
you gotta
too.
go around these two curves and see that's quite a ways to go.
Yeah.
That's why the DOT is just wondering if it wouldn't make sense to hold off on the actual paving, because there's really no place for the folks to walk. But we all
Right.
know that when you build a bridge, you only get one opportunity to build the bridge.
Right.
So
And it
that's
stays
why.
there for a long time.
Yes, yes, yes. But I thought it was wonderful for them to say they would grade it.
Oh,
because
yes.
That's why it costs so much for the city to build sidewalks when we go back in to try to retrofit them, because we've always got to take care of all these other issues.
Yeah.
So
Wow.
that's what I got. So two things I need from you would be your recommendations for those pedestrian bridges that we talked about, and then your recommendation for how we want the Bear Creek Road to be treated. And it's really which side do we want the transportation path to be on, and the sidewalk would be on the opposite side.
You know,
And is it okay if I stop sharing so I can see some of you again?
yes.
Okay. Thank you.
It's something to think about, because if you had the path on the side where the campground is, people would not have to cross that intersection when they would have to cross the intersection at some time, depending on which way they're going. If they were going out towards the Arboretum, they wouldn't have to pass that intersection. But if they're going back to Asheville, they would have to cross that intersection.
Yeah, and Claudia too. And again, I've shared with you an awful lot of information, and I don't expect, and the DOT doesn't expect an answer today.
Good.
If it would be helpful, Lucy can share those drawings with you. And even if we get a response from you, say early next week,
Okay.
that we could then turn it over to the DOT, that'd be fine.
So they do want the response pretty soon.
Well, the only reason they want the response pretty soon is because they're holding off any further work on them until we give them the green light to which one to go for. Then they'll do a deeper dive,
Okay.
including how much it's going to cost and that kind of stuff.
Wow.
I have a question. Does anybody know if Crossroads is going to put in any kind of sidewalk along their development along Bear Creek?
I think, Abby, of course, it's a county project, but I think that they have very limited frontage for their project, the way it got redesigned.
Yes.
So I'm going to say if they are putting a sidewalk, it's just going to be a very small link.
Yeah, I don't remember any sidewalk being put in. I think when I looked at those projects, the information.
And of course, the other thing that we have to get clarification on too, or a commitment from, would be the county, because any of this that's done in the county, they're going to be responsible to maintain it. Just like we're responsible inside the city.
Right. Well, since they're planning on doing a connection for the Greenway from Hominy Creek to the farmer's market, seems like they would be willing to do that part, but whether they would do this part is a whole nother thing.
Right, right. And the other thing I don't know is, I don't know who in the county now is the appropriate person to get that question answered, because Carla, I don't think I've ever been in a meeting with her before. So she
is the Greenway planner for the county.
Okay, but so she wouldn't necessarily be the one that could commit to a sidewalk, we'll say.
Yeah, I don't know. What do you think, Lucy? Would it be Josh?
I suspect it might be Nate Pennington, but I'm not sure. They're starting next year, the county's going to be doing a pedestrian plan for the county, which will really help with situations like
Yeah.
And so I'm not sure. It would either be Peyton or it would be Nate, and I suspect it's Nate.
Okay.
Well, I have to write him a letter anyway, so an email, so I might as well ask him.
Sure, that'd be fine.
You can on that South Bear Creek Road plan,
Mhm.
you mentioned kind of offhand that, you know, maybe it's not elected to be built at the time that the bridge is built, but does that mean that state funds are forfeited or off the table, or would they be there regardless of when it's built, or
No,
are they not
no,
there
that-
to begin with?
That's a good question, Richie, but the answer to that would be no. But the beauty of it is the fact that it would be graded and ready to go. So it'd be much less cost. And then there might be other opportunities for the city in the future or the county to be able to get, monies through the MPO. Those grant opportunities that we have from time to time. I think the key on one like this is we need to not do it until we have a definite linkage that we can go from a point A to a point B that makes sense.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah.
Because you don't want someone riding on something or walking on something and then coming to a dead end and have nothing to go to.
Right, right. And by the way, I've learned through the I-26 connector project process that this idea of grading behind, we'll say, the curb and gutter, that berm area, is their standard practice now. And that's very important because, like, we've struggled. To give you an example, we're still trying to put the sidewalks on New Leicester Highway from Patton Avenue up to the city limits.
Yeah.
And there's areas where we have to extend a culvert to cover the creek. That's very pricey when you're trying to build a sidewalk.
Definitely.
And so to have projects that now will have it already graded for us, and it's hopefully we can keep it in nice grass, and the people that live there, hopefully they would go ahead and mow it because that would give them a flat area for a good little while. And that sort of thing. So I feel like we've hit a home run from that standpoint.
Mm-hmm. Wow, this is a lot of stuff to think about, Ken.
Yes, it is. And I apologize that we had to do that. And I had to ask to be added to the agenda, but.
Well, we're glad to have you anytime. Anybody have any more questions or comments to make with Ken?
Okay, well, if it's okay, I'm going to jump off.
Okay, thank you.
All right, thanks, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Bye, Ken.
Bye-bye.
Wow. I'm overwhelmed.
So, yeah,
That's a lot to think about.
yeah. All right. Well, I'm busy trying to get these into folders to send, and I will send these out after the meeting
Thank you.
in an organized way. All right. Well, the last thing on our agenda is to talk about the letter that Claudia is wanting to send on behalf of the Greenway Committee. And
Yeah.
it has to do with more areas of the I-26 project, specifically Brevard Road and its connections into the neighborhoods, as well as Riverside Drive and its connections into the neighborhoods there and how it ties in with the Greenway.
Yeah, and Lucy, did you send anybody any of those pictures of those drawings?
Which
Probably did. You know, like Brevard Road where the Greenway is supposed to cross?
So I have them ready to show right now. These are all
Okay.
the DOT's I-26 Connector project webpage.
Great.
And, the map pages that we're working with are 2, 3, and 5 today.
Okay.
And last month we talked about the I-26 connection and relationship to Patton Avenue, and that was on different pages, I believe page 5. And then there's a new drawing that I'll send with the email so that you can all have them. But I have them ready to show if you want to walk through the letter, Claudia.
Yeah, probably that's a good idea to do. You haven't sent the letter to anybody, have you?
It's in the agenda, and
It is.
I
Okay.
will post it right here too, so you guys can have it open.
So I start out by saying I'm writing this letter as chair of the Asheville Greenway Committee. We are very pleased that you are supporting our desire to make walking and biking in Asheville areas safer and more enjoyable by agreeing to install the I-26 greenways with the improvements of the I-26 project through Asheville area. We do, however, have a few comments and hope that you will listen to them and give us clarification on what will happen with them for us. Number one, we understand the roadways that are within the boundary of I-26 project and are in an approved greenway plan will be considered for greenway development and or improvement. With this in mind, the Asheville Greenway along the French Broad River that presently ends at Hominy Creek Park is in the city plan to connect with Hominy Creek Greenway. And the proposed greenway up Hominy Creek Road by the transfer station, crossing the old Brevard Road bridge under the new bridge and continuing out Brevard Road to Bent Creek and North Carolina Arboretum are planned by Buncombe County.
This is just what Claudia was talking about with when Carla was here.
Yes.
That section of the Hominy Creek Greenway that would go up to the farmers market.
I maybe should say instead of to Bent Creek, I should change that to the farmers market. What do you think?
Yeah. Well,
but anyway,
you guys weigh in on that. The area that Carla was talking about is on roll 7. If you can see my cursor farther down, but I don't think that it goes much farther than what you can see here because it's the project area of the interstate, so it won't go much farther than.
But there is some section there that is included, I think.
Right.
So we are wondering if the section of roadway under the I-240 bridges and Brevard Road that will be improved with the greenway along Hominy Creek, period, with all the dump truck traffic in this area, it would be a definite improvement for the pedestrians and bicyclists who presently use this road. The property lines between the city of Asheville and Buncombe County are somewhat around there and are very confusing. We would love to have clarification on whether improvements could be made on this connection.
Just to help you all acclimate yourself to this map, this is Hominy Creek Park or Hominy Creek Greenway right here, and it comes out onto Shelburne Road, which is right here. This is the old armory.
Right.
And this is the road that Claudia is talking about. It takes you to the transfer station and then to Hominy Creek River Park, farther down this road. So
the section that's underneath that bridge is what I'm talking about.
right.
It would be nice if they would include some improvements there.
So currently there's no pedestrian or MUP or bike lanes on their proposed improvements, correct?
Right.
And what specifically are we asking for?
Well, I would like to have some kind of improvements that would make it possible for people to be walking or riding off the road.
So are we going to ask specifically for bike lanes or 14-foot MUP or sidewalks or what? I think we should.
We should state it.
We should state it, yes.
Well, probably a multi-use path.
I would think so.
Does anyone have any comments?
Only to say that I agree. That is the most, it's so scary. I mean, a lot of people only do it on the weekend. And honestly, there's a lot of drunk people on the weekend that are coming from kayaking and tubing and whatever they're doing, tubing mostly. Might be more dangerous than the dump trucks, but the dump trucks are scary if you do that road during.
They're so big, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. Okay. So the number 2 is we have heard that there is consideration being made to connect Fairfax Road and Virginia Avenue to the proposed Greenway when they are turned into dead-end roads. This would be very important so that the individuals who live on those streets would have an official connection to the French Broad River Greenway. This will serve as a safe, convenient method for individuals and their families to be able to get to their destinations through active transportation. So you know where Fairfax comes up to
No.
Brevard Road.
Here in this area.
It will no longer do that. But the Greenway is proposed, they're proposed to be, you can see this purple line, and it would be going right by Fairfax and right by Virginia. So there should be an official connection from those streets for them to get onto the Greenway. Number 3, we also understand that consideration is being made to move the Greenway crossing of Brevard Road from Shelburne and Fairfax, where there is no traffic light, to the intersection farther south at the entrance of the exit ramps of I-240, where there is a traffic light. To also put in accessible pedestrian crossing lights, put in a wide crosswalk, put in a refuge island, and add sidewalks on the west side of 191 from Shelburne to the end of the project. We would like to see these additions and changes to happen, as they will increase the safety of those who choose or need to use the Greenway. Right now, yes, Sonny.
I'm very confused. Is this a new map? Because I was under the understanding that there were not going to be interstate exits at the Brevard Road exit ever again, because they're so dangerous. You know, that it was going to be Amboy Road is how you got on and off the interstate, as opposed to Brevard Road.
This is correct. There is exits on Brevard Road and Amboy Road.
So they are still going to have, okay. So something changed since I remember hearing that. Okay.
Yeah. And if you look at this map, they're crossing where there's no traffic light.
Oh, and I see they're not, it's not the same kind of an exit as it used to be. You're coming up from Amboy on a
parallel road.
That's a frontage road. That's not an interstate exit coming from.
It's not a frontage. It's not a frontage road because it's in a controlled access area.
Okay, but it's not an interstate exit either. You're not on the interstate at that point. You're on Amboy Road, the new Amboy Road. Where that 424 house is sitting right in there at the bottom of Fairfax.
Yeah.
That's the new Amboy Road, as I understand it. And then the interstate's there to the left of that, but there's no exit off the interstate. You get off the interstate at Amboy and you come into that light on Brevard is now on Amboy Road. There's an exit getting on over by the B, but that over
it is Sunny.
Yes,
so they have it labeled as a ramp. Like it is labeled as a ramp.
Yeah, it's not. I mean, it's not off the interstate. That's all. That's the only point I'm trying to make. It's not going to be the same. That traffic coming in at 60 miles an hour, shooting up that ramp, it'll be a little bit different because that's Amboy, not an interstate ramp.
Well, it's hard to say.
Yeah.
But anyway, I want them to move that crossing down south to that intersection where the ramp is and Amboy Road, because then they do show a crosswalk there. You see that? So it's silly to put it up here where there's no crosswalk or no traffic light.
Agreed.
Okay, any other comments? Okay, so that was number 3. Number 4, we understand that a Greenway connection will be made to connect the Wilma Dykeman Greenway, which runs along the French Broad River, to the Reed Creek Greenway, that will eventually run the length of Broadway to Riverside Drive. The city is working to bring Reed Creek down to this intersection. So we will be very happy to see these 2 greenways connected. This intersection is problematic at this time and is not a safe situation for pedestrians or bicyclists because there's no sidewalk. As Woodfin works to extend the Wilma Dykeman Greenway, we see this as a major connector for active transportation and truly endorse its safe connection. Any comments about that? Now, Ken told me that they are going to put in a sidewalk down there.
On Broadway, under the I-26,
Where the ramp is.
where the ramp is, Lucy
Oh,
should
there's
have
no
the new elevation of that bridge, and it shows a 14-foot. Lucy's looking surprised. A
I'm
14
just trying
foot.
to do
Find it.
up as fast.
There's a 14-foot MUP and a 5-foot bike path on each side and sidewalks.
Hold on.
That Broadway bridge actually becomes quite a bit longer, and they're actually moving the creek to the north. The creek that goes underneath the freeway along next to Broadway.
They're going to move the creek?
Yep.
Sorry, you guys. My computer, of course, is going super slow.
Of course.
You know?
But they still haven't addressed that intersection, because you're right, that intersection is so wide that you don't even know where you're supposed to be going.
Right. And apparently they're supposed to redo that.
Yes, that is to be redone. That's correct. I didn't mean to put you on the spot,
Yeah.
Lucy.
Do you think we ought to? What was that, Lucy?
I'm trying. I think I'm getting it up right now. I hope. Okay. This is what you're wanting to see, Mike? This one? I'm about to get it up bigger, but I think this is what you're talking about.
It's spinning.
Okay.
No.
That's Hillcrest.
There's some emails going around like a week ago that showed an elevation of the Broadway bridge. The bridge across Broadway.
Was I on the email?
I'm sure you were. It was
Okay.
wonderful.
Did you send it or?
No, I received it. It was a wonderful thing to get.
Who sent it?
Somebody I did not know. And let's see if I can.
Okay, Lydia. Thank you. Bye.
Why we're
Sorry this is taking so long, guys.